Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this is In the Style of Gary Moore, Part 2, The Blues. Medley you just heard, I program the drums, play the keyboards and bass, and, well, play the guitar with a feeling. You probably heard there was a couple of small hiccups, but to me, guitar playing, and especially blues, and especially when you play Gary Moore, you gotta play from your heart. It's not about perfection, it's about really feeling it. And, well, I was feeling it. Hopefully it translated to you also. Okay, Gary Moore, I've done a part 1 video which was mainly focused, or only focused, to his kind of metal years. And this time it's about the blues stuff, which is very dear to me. When I was a kid, younger, when I started to play guitar, 13 years old, I had a friend, still have, that he was same age than me, but he had started to play around 6 years old, so he had played quite a lot, and he was pretty good, and, you know, studied and stuff, and he was a big Gary Moore and Stevie Ray Vaughan fan. I didn't understand those at the time, because I was like, I want to play Metallica and stuff, but that planted the seed. Then when I started to get a little bit better, I went back to Gary Moore and Stevie Ray. I was like, man, this is like, especially Gary Moore, it's, I mean, he's bending, his vibrato, there's like no other who, I mean, the best note in the world, one note, Gary Moore, Parisian Walkways, in the middle, live versions. Sometimes he played that over a minute, and that requires quite a lot of gain. So Gary was never shy of gain, even when he played blues. I mean, he used a lot of different amps. I got one of my subscribers who said me, he's a big Gary Moore fan, pictures of his rig and guitars. So previously he used mainly Strats, and then, you know, Charvels with EMGs, and then he kind of switched to Les Pauls and passive pickups. But I have one interview actually on one Guitar World. It's his guitar tech is interviewed, and he said that Gary used also EMGs with Les Pauls from time to time. And no matter the gear, the guitar, the amps, it always sounded like Gary. And, you know, it's the same with all of us. I mean, yeah, I try to play like Gary, but at the end of the day, I sound like me, because the sound is here. Amps and stuff, they just amplify that, have different tonalities, but the core of the sound is the player's hands. I did my best to play like Gary, technically, but it's impossible to sound like anyone else. So yeah, many different amps, and on that interview, the guitar tech said that he mainly used the JTM 45 on those blues albums. I've done a video about that if you want to check that out. This is 1987X, which I use now. JTM 45 is the predecessor. It's a little bit warmer sounding, fantastic clean sound. And then he said at the interview, the tech, that Gary dialed the sound, it was fairly clean. And then he used Marshall Governor, which is basically like Marshall's GC800 in a box. That's pretty much the pedal, how it is. And then he boosted that also with Tube Screamer. He used, again, many different Tube Screamers, but I think he favored the GS10 a lot, which I actually use. That's my favorite too. I have the J8's Bonsai here, and it's set to GS10. For some reason, it just feels like more open to me than GS808 and GS9. But anyway, so yeah, Marshalls, many different Marshalls. He used 800s, 1987X, SLP, 100 watts, 900s, 2000s, you name it. And then he also used Soldano SLO 100 a lot, live. But according to the guitar tech, he didn't really use that in studio. It was mainly Marshalls and the JDM 45, and boosted with the Marshall Governor and Tube Screamer. So that's the gear. What I have now is my Toka Les Paul with Seymour Duncan custom and 59 neck pickup. And then to my pedal board, and I used a tube screamer on time to time on that song. In the beginning, it was off. Marshall is pretty much cranked, like, and just especially on those when I played here on higher stuff, I kind of kicked in the screamer to get a little bit more sustain. And then the best note, I kicked in the blues driver, which I said a little bit heavier again. Like that, to get the sustain. So those were, but pretty much it was either directly into the amp or the tube screamer. Then the signal goes to, well, it goes to the KHE amp switcher, but I'm using all of this. And then to Sandrock reactive load. So I didn't use the cabinet, because the Plex is cranked, it's insanely loud with the cabinet. And I use my signature IR from Jens Bogren's lead and clean pack called Valovirta, which I pretty much use always, because that's just great, all around impulse response. And then the signal goes to Steinberg UR816C audio interface, and then I'm recording this to Cubase. And on the song, because Gary liked to use a lot of reverbs and delays just to make the sound big, live. Obviously in the studio, everything's recorded dry, and then the mixing engineer adds the amount that is needed or whatever preferred. But what I had on the song was a stereo delay. It's from Overloads, the DHU. And then after that I had a little bit of pitch shifter, so it kind of spreads the delay even more. And then a little bit of reverb, so it kind of smoothens it out. And that was it. What I have now is a small amount of room reverb, like just a tiny amount, so it's not completely dry to you, because I'm monitoring myself via the Genelec monitors, so you would hear it exactly as close as possible as I'm hearing. But that was the gear and stuff. This isn't really about the gear, because like the guitar tech said, it didn't matter what gear Gary used. He sounded like himself. And I can confirm that, because I've used so many different guitars, different amps on different albums. I sound like myself. Like my good friend, bless him, Alex Alaiho, when I played with his rig, his guitars, I sounded like myself. It didn't sound anything like Alexi. And when Alex played my rig, it didn't sound anything like me. It was Alex Alaiho. So that's that. So don't focus on the gear. The most important thing for good sound is to play good. That's it. Good player will sound good no matter the gear. Bad player will sound bad no matter the gear. Okay, let's get into the business. Yeah, Gary Moore, I said it, one of my all-time favorites, absolutely fantastic, his vibrato and phrasing. And I love his blues albums, blues records more than his metal stuff. Still Got the Blues, After Hours, amazing albums. And the first song there, Cold Day in Hell, that was the opening track from After Hours. So what he used there, pretty much pentatonic. Couple of like chromatic passing blue notes, like flatted fifth on the solo, but not that much. He didn't use that much of those like in between notes, the flatted fifth and stuff. He mainly used basic pentatonic and then combined that with natural minor and like harmonic minor also. I'm gonna show you. So let's go through basic ideas about his blues playing. So, basic pentatonic first box. Second. Third. Fourth. Fifth. Those are the boxes that he used. all. Like, no, I use myself, just, you know, travel across the board. And then adding those, you know, modes from 7 diatonic modes, the natural minor and harmonic minor a little bit. So the Codeine Hell kicks in. He uses it's in C sharp minor. So the first box will be here, the second, and so on will be here. So it starts with the, and he bends to here, to the flat fifth note. So he used a lot of bends to hit those flat fifth, those in-between notes to make it sound more bluesier, but he didn't actually play. Really basic pentagram. And the vibrato wide and, you know, convincing. That's pretty much the intro. He uses the 2 first boxes. And then the solo, it starts on the, again here. I mean, I pretty much improvised that because it's blues. It's not, you know, pre-planned. But again, certain spots I played like Gary or tried to play, and then he moves here. Which is, he uses like the third box, because if you go C sharp minor first box, second, third comes here, and here he uses the in-between notes. A little bit the natural minor. And then comes this, because here's the first box, here's the fifth box. So he bends from here to here. 1.5 step bend. Really cool stuff. And then the ending is just so classic Gary Moore, bending like half step, whole step, 1.5 step bends, 2 step bends. So he was a master creating rhythms and emotion and with bends. It's just, I just love to listen when he plays and actually play. Because, you know, we play what we love, what we want to hear. You know, I like this kind of stuff a lot. Although I'm playing, yeah, I've known mostly as a metal player, but if you listen, when I solo, when I play, it's blues. It's blues on steroids. It's like this kind of stuff. Then I just throw in some, you know, diatonic modes and fast pentatonics, but it's blues what I play. Bending, a good way to practice bends is to find the target note. Let's say this is the target note. You're here. Just try. Then if you want to do a half step, or 2 step. Like, you know, that kind of stuff. It's Gary's playing all about those bends. Okay, that was kind of that, and then still got the blues and Parisian walkways, which I did there. The main themes, they are based on the natural minor, A minor scale, which is, let me switch on the 2 screamer, which is, it has 7 notes. So it starts, yeah, on the neck pickup and again half step bend, because the box is Whole step back. This is just classic A minor. Same with the Persian walkways. Natural A minor. And yes, you could play but that's like piano. Guitar is all about, to me, what separates a guitar player from a person who just plays guitar is the bending, the phrasing. And to put feeling into that, really play. I don't know if you're not a guitar player, probably most of you are since you're watching this, but you know how it is when you become one with the guitar. And when I'm playing these kind of songs, I'm kind of singing that. I'm not a very good singer, but this is how I sing. This is my voice. Gary knew how to sing, but I really hear like his voice. He's still got the blues for you. Like you don't need any lyrics. Just fantastic. So those are that, and well, the solos on both songs, it's pentatonic, natural minor stuff, and then there's one part where he plays like a harmonic minor thing on Still Got the Blues, which is very cool. First comes this kind of like, and then comes this. This is like kind of harmonic. And then again, pentatonic lick, but he uses the one note from the natural minor scale. So this is fantastic. I love this. I use this on a lot on my playing, blend scales, and not just playing basic pentatonics, but incorporating other scales in there too to express feelings better, so to say. And then the ending, that was just kind of jam, like 1-4-5, basic chord progression, blues progression, rock and roll progression, and I pretty much played like kind of like fast licks in the style of Gary Moore, because he used a lot of kind of these repetitive things, which I love, because when you repeat something, it's like a little bit like a vocal melody. If it's a good melody, you repeat that, it will stick to people's heads, and they can hum it. So, and you can do the same with this really fast stuff too. So basic minor pentatonic like this. Really simple. And what he also did, he kind of this not. He used these a lot, and this. Just basically, if I play it slowly. And he uses like those bursts, like they were sometimes like out of time, but it was these like emotional bursts, like. I mean, when he wanted, he was really precise and on the beat, like Still Got the Blues and those really well timed, and it rests there. And then, it's, you know, time to time these like fast bursts, which I kind of tried to mimic on the medley in the beginning. Just woof, these like really, and then again back to that stuff. But to sum it all. Absolutely fantastic, one of my all-time favorite players, and probably you can hear that too in my playing. And how he bent, like I bent, I pretty much hit all the strings. What I mean by that let's say, bend here. Okay, that was a bend, that's cool, but if you saw my hand, I played all the strings. And the keys, I mute it here and also here. So it's really hard to explain, but I learned it by just doing it. You know, the 10,000 time rule. When you do something 10,000 times, then you start to be pretty good at it. And this. Those bends, I don't have to, I'm sure Gary didn't have to think like, okay, where's the half step bend, where's the one whole step, where's the 1.5 step bend. When you do it and practice it and just play hours and hours, and then you don't have to think about it. You can just express yourself, like singing. I mean, when a vocalist sings, I assume that it doesn't necessarily think like, okay, now I need to go one or how. It just comes how the melody goes. So that's what I think was with Gary with the guitar. He just expressed himself in a very beautiful but very like way that, you know, you believed what he said with the guitar, like no questions. Hey, hopefully you found this interesting and informative. And if you're not familiar with Gary and the blues playing, I suggest start with the Still Got the Blues, After Hours. And there's lots of live clips, live in Montreux, those, the best note in the world, what I said before. There's clips that he plays that over a minute. He's just like, you know, he was the man. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like, please put a thumbs up, leave a comment or question or whatever. Until next time, take care. Bye.